Hello, welcome back to the woods. And welcome back to a bit of woods time and a woods time project I know you are going to love. Now, for those of you who are long-time viewers of the channel, no doubt you will recognise this. One of my little canoe spoons from an earlier project. Well, in this video we're going to look at a fun variation of one of these, and it's something that I think you guys will really enjoy, and I will see them popping up all over the place, and that is this. It's a canoe spoon with a little owl in the top. Now this makes a great woods time project, and one of the big reasons is you don't need a lot of stuff for this project. You're going to need your piece of wood. I've gone for a little piece of birch this time, but I've used willow, I've used all sorts for these. And it wants to be about the thickness of your wrist. You're also going to need a knife. I've just gone for my trusty old Mora, a crook knife, and a stick you can use as a batten. So the first job is get a kettle on. So with the kettle on, I can get on with the first part of this project, and that is I'm going to take my piece of wood, and what I'm going to do with it is I want to quarter that piece of wood, and ideally I want one piece that's got as few knots in it as possible. For that I'm going to use my knife and my batten. So that's my piece split into quadrants. And this is the piece I've chosen. It's not ideal, but it's relatively knot free. The sides, there's a bit of a knot, but we should be able to work around that. My next job is I want to smooth this down, and I'm going to shade that down using my knife. Now with it all smoothed off, my next task is, well, I'm going to choose one end that is the better end, and I want the end that's relatively knot free. So that end is my best end. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to round that front edge a little bit. Then with that front edge rounded, still paying attention to the side where the bark is, I want to shave from about 2 inches back from that mark back towards this end, so that it gradually tapers in. So there we go. It starts to taper down, and if you look at it from the end, we've got a nice triangular shape to work with. Also, if we turn it to the side, you'll see that we've got where the bowl is going to be, tapering up to the end of the handle. Now the next bit we're going to work on is this bit here, the apex. And what I want to do is put across, stop cut across the apex to the other side, and then again across that way. And we're going to make an owl, like in my owl bookmark video. We're going to use that apex in exactly the same way. So with those little cross cuts in, that little V running across, what I'm now going to do is trim up to that. This is quite fine work, so my glasses are on. And what I want to create is a V pointing downwards, with the cuts running up toward that V that I've created there. So with that cut done, facing downwards, what I'm now going to do is cut up onto the other half of those lines. So I've created this X shape, but what I've also created is his eyebrows and beak, and also where his eyes are going to be. So next I'm going to turn him to the side, and where this very flat square forehead is, I want to shave that back so that it runs from his beak back up towards where the tips of his ears are going to be. And all I do is just take little chips off. Now you don't want to cut too much, and you don't want to cut too close to that line. But what you should end up with is that. So with that done, what I then want to do is I'm going to scoop out this little bit on the top, and for that I'm going to use the front section of my blade because it's nice and narrow, and I'm going to cut from one side and I'm going to turn it, cut from the other side. And there he is, done. My next thing is I want to put a little stop cut in just about there, and that's going to create where his body is. And that's going to need to be quite a deep one, so you can just batten down direct onto that to create that little stop cut in there. With that done, we're going to shave up to that stop cut. Now with that scooped out, you can see we've got the owl's head, eyes, body, and then we've got this scooped out area. Well, I'm going to continue that scooped out area all the way around, all the way down to where the tip of the spoon is going to be, and where ultimately the bowl is going to be. So all I'll do is reverse it round and then start again cutting down that way, so I start to get that spoon type shape. So there we are, that's all shaved out. We sort of got that spoon shape going on. My next task, take this off the back and round the front. We're nearly there. So there she is, bowl all rounded, smoothed down. This area is ready to be taken out with my crook knife. And then before I do that, I'm just going to do a little bit of tidying up on the little owl himself. What I want to do is I'm going to put a couple of little V-cuts in the side there to separate out his body from his rather large tail. Shave out a little bit of this breastbone just so it's not quite so pronounced. So there she is. Little bits taken out. I could add some little extra V's in there just to make a sort of feathering effect. But next, I'm just going to quickly carve out the bowl. So there's the bowl taken out. I'm just going to straighten these sides up a little bit. And then I'm going to put some of those little V cuts in just to have a sort of feathering effect on there. There you go. So we've got our little V's cut out, running down the sides, which gives it that feathering effect. And she's pretty much done. I could sand her down. I could leave her to dry out for a little bit. But if I needed it just for now, or as a quick gift while I'm out in the woods, that is pretty much done. I could further embellish it if I wanted to by maybe perhaps burning the eyes in or using a pencil to put the eyes in. You could do what I've done with this one, and what I've done is I've burnt the eyes in, and then I've done a little bit of coal rosing, and all I did with that was draw a pattern on in pencil, a little bit of cross hatching, went over it with a sharp knife blade, and then rubbed in a little bit of cinnamon before applying a little bit of walnut oil just to finish it off and stop it drying out. But they're a great, relatively quick and fun project. And for all of you, those of you who are off to the Bush Moot or the Great Outdoors Show or Wilderness Gathering, perhaps this could be a little something that you knock out around the fire in the evening. So if you enjoyed this video, then remember, hit that thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The links are in the description box down below. There is also a link over there to my Etsy shop and also to my Patreon page. Pop over there, have a look. On the Etsy shop you will find my little Greencraft logo patches, both in leather and in woven, and there is also a link to my spread shop where you can get my t-shirts. This one, the WOODSTIME t-shirt. Get yourself a t-shirt, show your support for the channel. I've been Neil, and until next time, stay safe.